When it comes to finding relief from arthritis, most people immediately think of medications, supplements, or maybe even joint creams. But one of the most overlooked and underrated tools for managing joint pain and inflammation is nutrition, specifically protein. It's not just about getting enough of it. It's about getting the right kind of protein that supports your body's healing mechanisms without adding more stress or inflammation to your system. Let's start with the basics. Arthritis is fundamentally an inflammatory condition. Whether it's osteoarthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, or another variation, what's happening inside your body is an ongoing cycle of inflammation, tissue breakdown, and often a lack of proper repair. That's where protein comes in. Protein isn't just fuel for your muscles, it's the building material your body needs to repair damaged tissue, maintain cartilage, support your immune system, and even regulate inflammatory responses. Now, most people underestimate the toll that chronic inflammation takes on muscle mass. When inflammation is high, especially around the joints, people naturally start to move less. That decrease in movement over time leads to muscle wasting. And when the muscles around a joint weaken, the joint takes on more stress. That added pressure then worsens the pain and inflammation, creating a cycle that's hard to break unless we intervene at the nutritional level. The first thing to understand is that not all protein sources are created equal, especially when you're dealing with a condition like arthritis. While traditional high-protein diets often lean heavily on red meats and processed animal products, these sources can actually make things worse. They tend to be high in saturated fats and contain advanced glycation and product ages, which can trigger more inflammation in the body. And if your body's already fighting to keep inflammation down, feeding it more fuel for the fire isn't the way forward. What's needed is a smarter approach, one that uses protein as a tool for healing, not harm. Plant-based proteins offer that. They're rich in amino acids just like animal proteins, but they also come packed with fiber, antioxidants, and phytonutrients that actively help fight inflammation. They don't just feed your muscles, they nourish your cells, modulate immune responses, and support a healthier gut microbiome, which we now know plays a key role in inflammation management. But the story doesn't end there. Protein also plays a major role in hormone regulation, particularly hormones like insulin, cortisol, and growth hormone, all of which impact inflammation and tissue repair. If your protein intake is too low, or if you're consuming low-quality sources, your body starts shifting into a more catabolic state. That means it breaks down tissue faster than it can rebuild it. This is particularly concerning for people with arthritis, where the tissue breakdown is already happening at an accelerated pace. Supporting the body with enough high-quality protein helps tip the scales back toward repair. It gives your body what it needs to regenerate cartilage, strengthen muscles, and reduce the micro-damage that occurs around inflamed joints on a daily basis. Another thing people don't always realize is how essential protein is for maintaining bone density. While calcium and vitamin D get all the attention, protein is the matrix that minerals attach to. Without adequate protein, the structural integrity of your bones begins to decline, and weaker bones mean more strain on joints, more pain, and a higher risk of injury. The beauty of focusing on the right kind of protein is that it doesn't require you to overhaul your entire life. You don't need to become a chef or spend hours prepping meals. You simply need to make strategic choices, choose plant-based proteins that naturally support anti-inflammatory pathways, incorporate them consistently, and give your body the raw materials it needs to heal from the inside out. Over time, the benefits compound. You move easier, you wake up with less stiffness, your energy levels rise, you start reclaiming parts of your life that arthritis once limited. The key isn't in a miracle pill or secret technique, it's in the daily decisions that build a system of healing, one bite at a time. Most people are told to eat more protein to support their health, especially when dealing with joint pain or arthritis. But rarely are they told to look closely at what kind of protein they're consuming. It's easy to fall into the trap of thinking all protein is the same, that as long as you're getting enough grams per day, you're doing your body a favor. But that's not the full picture. In fact, depending on the source, certain proteins might actually be aggravating your symptoms rather than helping them. When we consume animal-based proteins, especially those that come from red meat or heavily processed meats, we're often getting more than just protein. Along with those grams of protein come saturated fats, pro-inflammatory compounds, and other elements like advanced glycation end products or age. These compounds have been shown in research to increase oxidative stress and inflammation in the body. For someone dealing with arthritis, where inflammation is already a central issue, this can be especially problematic. It's not about demonizing all animal products, it's about recognizing patterns. Repeated exposure to inflammatory foods creates a biological environment that favors pain, swelling, and stiffness. That's why people who rely heavily on processed meats or high-fat cuts of red meat often report feeling more inflamed, especially in the joints. Their body is working harder to manage both the stress of chronic inflammation from arthritis and the stress caused by the foods being consumed. Now, here's where the shift needs to happen. We need to start thinking of food not just as fuel, but as information. Every bite you take is communicating something to your body. It's either telling your body to turn on healing and repair processes, or it's telling it to activate defense systems, immune responses, and stress pathways. Animal proteins rich in saturated fats tend to send the latter signal. They push the body into a low-grade inflammatory state that, over time, contributes to joint degradation and tissue breakdown. And this isn't just about the protein itself, it's also about what comes with it. Highly processed meats often come with additives, nitrates, and excess sodium. These additives can spike inflammation and throw off the body's balance of essential minerals like magnesium and potassium, both of which are crucial for maintaining joint flexibility and muscle function. So, what looks like a high-protein meal on the surface might actually be undermining the very thing you're trying to improve. Contrast that with plant-based protein sources. These foods come packaged with fiber, antioxidants, and compounds that help modulate inflammation naturally. They're not just giving your body amino acids, they're giving your body a toolkit to heal. And unlike some animal proteins, they don't trigger the same spike in inflammatory markers like CRP or IL-6. Instead, they support a more balanced immune response, which is key when your goal is to reduce swelling, pain, and stiffness in the joints. Now, some people worry about whether plant proteins can deliver the same muscle, building, and recovery benefits. The answer is yes when chosen and combined correctly. Many plant sources contain all the essential amino acids, and even those that don't can be paired easily to form complete proteins. The point is, you're not sacrificing performance by going plant-based. You're enhancing it, especially in a body that's fighting inflammation daily. When you make this shift from inflammatory proteins to anti-inflammatory, plant-based sources, you're doing more than just changing your plate. You're changing the chemical messages being sent throughout your body. You're reducing the internal noise of inflammation, allowing healing signals to be heard more clearly. And with consistency, those small changes translate into better joint function, less pain, and more energy to engage with life on your terms. True healing begins when we stop feeding the fire and start fueling the repair. One of the most effective yet underrated sources of plant-based protein for arthritis relief is lentils. These tiny legumes might not look like much, but they're packed with exactly what your body needs to combat inflammation, support joint health, and maintain muscle around those sensitive areas. What makes lentils so powerful is that they don't just provide protein, they offer a complete nutritional package that directly supports the healing process in arthritic conditions. Let's break this down a bit. Lentils contain a solid dose of plant protein, which means they supply essential amino acids that help with tissue repair and muscle maintenance. That's important because, as inflammation wears down the joints, your muscles are left to take on more of the structural load. If they're not strong or well-nourished, they weaken over time. This muscle loss around the joints leads to greater instability, more discomfort, and a reduced ability to move with confidence. By consistently including protein-rich foods like lentils in your diet, you give your muscles what they need to stay active and supportive. But lentils go beyond protein. They're also incredibly rich in fiber, which helps regulate blood sugar and reduce inflammatory spikes that can be triggered by highly processed foods. When your blood sugar is stable, your hormones, particularly insulin and cortisol, stay in balance, which further supports a healthy inflammatory response. For people with arthritis, this stability can translate to fewer flare-ups, reduced swelling, and improved recovery after movement. Lentils also contain magnesium, iron, zinc, and potassium, minerals that are often depleted in people with chronic inflammation. Magnesium helps relax tight muscles and supports a calm nervous system. Zinc is crucial for tissue healing and immune function. Iron supports oxygen delivery to muscles and joints, which aids in energy production and repair, and potassium balances out sodium levels in the body, helping to reduce water retention and joint puffiness. When all of these nutrients are present in one natural, whole food like lentils, it becomes more than just a meal, it becomes a form of natural medicine. Another unique benefit of lentils is their polyphenol content. These are antioxidant compounds that help fight oxidative stress and free radical damage in the body. In arthritis, where joint tissues are under constant assault from inflammation and oxidative stress, polyphenols act as protectors. They shield your cells, reduce tissue breakdown, and slow down the degenerative process happening within the joints. This isn't theory, it's what's happening at the molecular level every time you feed your body the right inputs. And let's not ignore something critical here. Lentils are incredibly easy to cook, affordable, and versatile. You don't need to be a nutritionist or a gourmet chef to incorporate them into your meals. Whether you're making a soup, adding them to salads, or creating a simple lentil stew, you're getting a powerful source of protein that also works behind the scenes to lower inflammation and support long-term joint health. The reality is, healing doesn't always require extreme changes. Sometimes it's about consistent, simple choices, adding one food that supports your biology rather than fights against it. That's the kind of shift that creates real, lasting progress. When it comes to arthritis relief through nutrition, one of the most surprising yet powerful tools is something incredibly small: chia seeds. At first glance, they might seem insignificant, but these tiny seeds carry a nutritional punch that supports your joints, muscles, and overall recovery in a way that's hard to match. What makes them especially unique is their combination of plant-based protein and anti-inflammatory compounds, both of which are essential for people living with chronic joint pain. Chia seeds are among the few plant foods that provide complete protein. That means they contain all 9 essential amino acids your body can't make on its own. For anyone dealing with arthritis, that's a big deal. These amino acids play a crucial role in rebuilding tissues, preserving lean muscle mass, and aiding cellular repair around damaged joints. Since arthritis can weaken the muscles that surround and protect joints, it's critical to keep those muscles strong and supported, and the complete protein in chia helps you do just that. But protein isn't the only thing chia seeds bring to the table. They're one of the richest plant-based sources of omega-3 fatty acids, particularly alpha-linolenic acid ALA. Omega-3s are well known for their ability to reduce inflammation, but in the context of arthritis, their benefits go deeper. They help decrease the production of inflammatory cytokines, reduce joint stiffness, and even improve morning mobility. While many people look to fish oil for their omega-3s, chia seeds offer a clean, sustainable alternative that's free from potential toxins and heavy metals often found in marine sources. Another reason chia seeds are so effective is because of what happens when they interact with water. When soaked, they form a gel-like consistency due to their high soluble fiber content. This gel not only aids in digestion but also supports gut health, which is increasingly being recognized as a critical factor in inflammation regulation. A healthy gut helps modulate immune function, reduce systemic inflammation, and enhance nutrient absorption, all key elements in managing arthritis long-term. The fiber in chia seeds also helps stabilize blood sugar, which matters more than most people realize. Blood sugar spikes and dips can trigger internal stress responses that lead to more inflammation. By helping to regulate these fluctuations, chia seeds contribute to a more balanced hormonal environment, which in turn supports better joint and tissue health. Over time, this kind of biochemical balance can make a significant difference in how your joints feel day to day. Chia seeds also offer calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus, nutrients that work synergistically to maintain bone strength and muscle function. Strong bones provide better support to joints, while relaxed, well-nourished muscles reduce the load on inflamed areas. The cumulative effect is not just pain reduction, but a tangible improvement in how your body moves and recovers. What's powerful about chia seeds is how easy they are to incorporate into your daily life. You can blend them into smoothies, stir them into oatmeal, sprinkle them over salads, or simply mix them with water and let them expand. With just a tablespoon or two a day, you're giving your body a consistent supply of nutrients that actively support healing from the inside out. It's not about drastic changes. It's about strategic ones that work with your body instead of against it. Among the many plant-based proteins that can aid in arthritis relief, quinoa stands out as one of the most complete and versatile options. What makes quinoa so beneficial isn't just that it's high in protein, it's that it offers all 9 essential amino acids in a form that's easy to digest and absorb. For people dealing with chronic joint inflammation, that kind of nutritional efficiency matters. Your body is in a constant state of repair, and providing it with complete proteins like those in quinoa helps rebuild muscle tissue, protect cartilage, and improve mobility around affected joints. Quinoa also brings another layer of benefit through its anti-inflammatory and antioxidant compounds. One of the key players here is quercetin, a powerful plant antioxidant known to reduce inflammation at the cellular level. This is especially important for people with arthritis because much of the joint damage is driven by oxidative stress and immune overactivation. By providing quercetin naturally through your food, you're helping your body dial down that inflammation without needing to rely solely on medications or supplements. It's also rich in magnesium, which plays a vital role in muscle relaxation, nerve function, and bone integrity. When magnesium levels are low, muscles tend to become tighter, more fatigued, and more prone to spasms, all of which can exacerbate joint pain. Getting adequate magnesium from foods like quinoa supports smoother, more fluid movement, and can help reduce that sensation of stiffness that often comes with arthritis. Another overlooked benefit of quinoa is that it's gluten-free, which is significant for individuals whose arthritis symptoms may be worsened by gluten sensitivity. In some people, even mild sensitivities can trigger immune responses that add fuel to the inflammation already present in their joints. Replacing gluten-containing grains with something like quinoa is a small shift that can reduce unnecessary immune activation and contribute to better long-term outcomes. Quinoa is also easy to prepare and works well in a wide variety of dishes. Whether you're making a warm bowl, tossing it into a salad, or using it as a side to your favorite anti-inflammatory vegetables, it's incredibly adaptable. You're not just eating to feel full, you're eating to heal. And when that intention guides your food choices, even something as simple as a bowl of quinoa becomes part of a larger process of restoring balance, reducing inflammation, and reclaiming strength and flexibility. Every food choice is a signal to the body, and quinoa sends the right one, another powerful yet often underestimated plant-based protein for arthritis relief is spirulina. This blue-green algae is more than just a trendy superfood. It's a nutritional powerhouse with unique anti-inflammatory properties that make it especially helpful for those dealing with joint pain and stiffness. What sets spirulina apart is how concentrated it is. Just a small amount delivers a high-quality protein content along with a potent blend of vitamins, minerals, and antioxidants that actively support joint repair and immune balance. Spirulina is made up of about 60–70% protein by weight, making it one of the most protein-dense plant-based foods available, but beyond quantity, it's the quality of that protein that makes the difference. It contains all essential amino acids, supporting muscle maintenance, tissue regeneration, and the healing of inflamed or damaged joints. When the body receives complete protein in this form, especially alongside other healing nutrients, it becomes more efficient at repairing the wear and tear that arthritis brings with it day after day. One of spirulina's standout features is a compound called phycocyanin. This pigment not only gives spirulina its distinctive blue-green color, but also plays a critical role in reducing oxidative stress and inflammation. Phycocyanin works by inhibiting the production of pro-inflammatory molecules that circulate during arthritic flare-ups. Over time, this can result in less swelling, less joint discomfort, and an overall improvement in mobility. And because phycocyanin also supports liver detoxification, it helps remove internal waste that might otherwise contribute to systemic inflammation. Spirulina is also rich in iron, B vitamins, and trace minerals like copper and manganese, all of which are involved in energy metabolism, red blood cell production, and joint tissue maintenance. This matters because fatigue is a common companion to arthritis. The more inflamed and stiff the body becomes, the more energy it takes to simply move, think, or function. Spirulina's dense nutrient profile supports not just the joints, but the systems that help you stay energized and mentally clear while managing chronic inflammation. It's worth noting how easy it is to add spirulina into your routine. A teaspoon in a smoothie, a blend into your water with lemon, or even a mix into soups or dips can deliver benefits without needing to cook or prepare anything elaborate. When you're working to reduce inflammation and support recovery, these small, nutrient-rich additions can have an outsized impact on your progress and your pain levels. Sometimes, the most powerful changes come in the smallest forms. So, when we look at the broader picture, it becomes clear that true arthritis relief doesn't just come from pills or temporary fixes. It comes from consistently making choices that support healing at the cellular level. Lentils, chia seeds, quinoa, and spirulina aren't just foods. They are tools, natural, effective, and backed by science, to reduce inflammation, rebuild strength, and restore balance. Shifting away from inflammatory animal proteins and leaning into these plant-based sources is not about restriction. It's about empowerment. It's about choosing to nourish your body in ways that fight pain, not fuel it. Because when you start fueling your body with what it truly needs, healing isn't just possible, it becomes inevitable.